Hey, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of this podcast. My name's Justin.
And I'm Oscar. What's up?
A little background. We're two friends who haven't seen each other in person in the past 15 years since we moved away. But we're back at it again in the virtual realm.
Hey, man, it was so great when we were kids. Then we gotta do it again, you know?
Today, we're going to start by talking about some crazy things that we've seen going around in the world. For me, I'm in Southern California right now.
I'm in the north of Chile. Been here for the last 13 to 14 years.
So let's start with the first item of discussion today. Oscar, do you want to pull up your news story?
Well, hey, how about we start with the best one first? The one that you know which one I'm talking about. The one that you are the most qualified person here to talk about. I think that should be, our opener.
As the resident Korean here, as we know, martial law was attempted in South Korea in this past week.
What the hell? Oh my God.
It is currently December 6th, 2024. So the president of South Korea tried to instate martial law. And a little bit of background, it turns out the reason why he was doing all of this was because he's a lame duck candidate at this moment. In classic fear-mongering fashion, you got to blame North Korea. It's North Korea's fault. They're going to be running in, invading, ruin all of our shit. So what we got to do is take away everyone's rights. The funniest part of it is that literally everybody else in the government was like,
All you do is smoke street ball all day.
turns out after 6 hours, just 6 hours of that announcement, they ended up just canceling it. For a little bit of background, I would say from a Korean perspective, people take democracy very seriously there. In the past few decades since the Korean War, there have been 2 military dictatorships that had taken place. First was Park Chung-hee, and what happened with him and the other dictator that took power in the 70s, Chun Doo-hwan. What they ended up doing was they had a military coup, right? They had the force of the military to back their entire claim, which is completely different from what happened right now. Literally no one gave a shit with this guy,
Question about
Even
that, just me who I know basically nothing about Korean history. Is it a common occurrence for you or for you guys that basically dictatorships and coups are very prominent in your history? Because I know from my experience in Venezuela, it's happened a few times.
Well, I gotta say, it's definitely in the modern history of Korea. It's very fresh, on the minds of a lot of people.
Oh my God.
And around that time, my parents were in middle school, around that time. So they remember a lot of that time period, And the coolest thing about Korean history that I would say is a lot of the change came from the people, right? And that's a lot easier in a collectivist, culture.
So here's the thing I want to ask you. Do you think it's normal for Koreans to be in favor of the decisions that the military has or the government has, or not really?
I would say that's tough. And take everything that I say with a grain of salt because I'm an American, I was born in America. I grew up here, but my family, is from South Korea.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff that I know about the country and now, the modern history is from them. But as far as I know, the state of the attitudes towards the military and towards government power, it's very kind of more on the skeptical end, I think a lot of people tend to be very wary. A lot of people tend to feel strongly about democracy because, they see it as a remedy to a lot of these issues in the past, which were basically authoritarian, right? But again, that attitude it's not a monolithic one. It changes from situation to situation. I gotta say, the main influence that dictates a lot of these decisions or these attitudes is North Korea. Since the war, the previous unified kingdom that was there became split. Since then, we've always had an existential crisis from that.
So,
but
in a way, it's the forever scapegoat, basically.
Right. And of course, there are talks with unification and all that. Because there is that one foe, there tends to be a lot of fear-mongering, that happens in this case as well. Lots of times when you see the fear of North Korea being expressed, it's from the angle of the right-wing people.
It's typical. I can talk about conservatives that they know about here in Chile, for example. Here, I guess it's a bit different. Because I mean, different from the states, like the Communist Party, for example, does actually have a pretty strong outreach. I always find it kind of dumb because it's not that either of them are necessarily wrong. It's just a matter of priorities. For example, in our case, we
Right.
have a lot of rampant immigration. Okay, people have many opinions on that, but the one thing that is known for certain is that rampant immigration has had some sort of correlation with more crime in certain areas of Chile. So here's the thing. When you talk to more left-wing folks, they'll talk about, the more humanitarian side of things and how, despite that, we should still try to help people in need. Whereas the more right-wing side of things is more like, we need more stronger border control. We shouldn't let them in. Our whole like immigration policy is a fucking mess. It always has been, etc. Those are kind of the perspectives. So, and I guess in your case, from what I understanding, the right wing in Korea has a more like protectionist attitude, I guess. Kind of closed
Right,
off, right?
right.
Always thinking about, the enemy or whatever.
Exactly. I mean, it mirrors a lot of what we see in the U.S. too. It's like the right wing is usually very hard on immigration, very hard on national security. Whereas the left is more, I mean, lenient towards a lot of that. It's interesting to see that kind of dynamic, but in Korea, at least, like with what recently happened, it's very clear the decision that the president had made was very unpopular, or it was very reckless. So it's interesting to see that kind of response.
From my understanding, it was basically that I didn't know this originally, that in Korea there is mandatory military service, right? Kind of like in Israel, stuff like that. So what I was reading about,
I had to actually, when I was 16, I had dual citizenship up until then, but I had to go to the Korean embassy to get rid of it. If I didn't get rid of the Korean citizenship after high school, I would have been sent to the military.
Two to the one to the three. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed.
you're saying you're not actually Korean.
100% American now, or since I was 16. Yeah.
Fucking lied to me. I don't know if I can accept this betrayal. Okay, this is putting a serious
What can I say, man?
new wrench in our relationship. Okay, what's going on here?
Man, fuck the military. I'm going to college. That's what I thought at that time.
This is the first I'm hearing of this. I didn't know you're actually legally not Korean now.
Yeah, no, I was a dual citizen all the way up until I was 16. I had 2 passports.
Anyways, going back to like the whole military thing. So what I was reading up on was a lot of people were talking about how one of the main reasons this didn't work, and there are a lot of videos of this, is since a very large majority of the population has had military training, they're using the same tactics as the people that are trying to oppress them at the same exact time. So there's this one video. I'm gonna put it up on the screen if I have it. Wait, hold on. It's really great. Basically, it's like the caption's like "Get fucking rotated, idiot." So
Yeah.
there's like this guy trying to push up on a guy with glasses, and he just like turns him around and pushes him back. It's great. It's great.
That's hilarious.
Fucking rotated. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
So is that true? You think like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
one of the main reasons like they couldn't really do anything? The whole population was just like, nah, man, we better at this than you.
Yeah. No, I saw like some of the news interviews that I was looking at. People were confused, right? Because of course, like people weren't agreeing with this, especially in the military. And what they were saying was, as soon as that decision dropped, like immediately people that were in the military were on the phone, asking their higher ups. So what do we do? Like, we don't want to fucking do this shit. Like, what's going on? There's so much confusion, right? In recent history, at least, I guess we've seen like an example of this in the 90s. The 1992 LA riots.
Yeah.
So around that time, Koreatown's being hit by a lot of rioters, looters. The Latasha Harlins case, all of that. The Rodney King verdict, a lot of stuff happened. And that's where we get like the roof Korean meme from.
Oh, you told me about this.
So like the roof Koreans, they were known for being on the roofs of their businesses, right? Defending them. The reason behind this phenomena and the reason why Koreans were such a formidable force during that time was because people forget every single grown adult, male in South Korea had 2 years of military training, right? So everybody knows how to use a gun. Everybody knows basic military tactics, right? Well, it's essentially the idea of a militia, right? A trained militia.
Justin, do you know how to shoot? Have you shot before?
I have shot before.
Okay,
Several times.
You're regaining some Korean points.
Amazing. My social credit up by 15?
But the funniest part was like the reason why I got shooting experience was in preparation for my senior thesis film that I directed in college, because it was about the 1992 LA riots. You know, my friend, he's into shooting, he has guns and all that stuff. And I was all like, you know what? Guns play a very central role in this story. And I wanted to know what it felt like, you know, what it actually means to shoot, right? I like wanted to understand, you know, firsthand what it's like, you know.
You didn't want to get like fucking, you know, memed on because you didn't know the difference between a clip and a magazine.
It's one of those things where I wanted to go out and see for myself.
You know, when you said like, I learned this in preparation for it, I don't know why my mind didn't like jump to a film thing. I thought like, dang, Justin, like, did you commit a crime? Was there like a heist that you didn't know about? When did this happen?
Yeah, no, I'm going to Ukraine, bro.
Hello, Biden. It's Zelensky.
Holy halibut, it's the chief!
We need 5 billion rockets.
So I guess what I'm getting from all this is there is a pretty long history of Korean citizens basically not backing down and using their combined military experience to just get shit done.
That's been all of Korea's medieval and ancient history as well. You know, like, I think that's the interesting thing. You know, we have beef with Japanese, right?
Yeah. It's forever.
The reasons behind that are very interesting because everybody knows we got colonized during the Second World War, but the beef between Japan and not just Korea, it's just mainland Asia in general, goes back hundreds of years. At least in Korea's case, or the kingdoms at the time that comprised the Korean peninsula, they mostly taken on a defensive role. Right? They're either invaded by northern Asian tribes, you know, like the Jurchens or the Manchus or the Mongols, right? Or even China, some of the Chinese dynasties that were there. And then they were being invaded by Japan from the south, from the ocean. So a lot of the Korean sentiment that goes back hundreds of years, it's based in struggle. It's based in defending yourself, right? It's not based upon like conquering other people, but it's based upon being, you know, the subject of being conquered, you know? So a lot of the military advances and the military tactics and all of that was born from this environment.
So would you say there's like a lot of, I guess, historical trauma, if you could say that, you know, generational, right?
Oh, I was going to say, it shows a lot in Korean traditional music as well. There's a lot of songs about lamenting. Actually, I liken Korean folk music and its sentiment a lot to American blues. And it's all about that. It's about daily life, the struggles of daily life, about fucking being invaded, you know?
Speaking of which, okay, I don't know if this is like an appropriate question, okay? I think we talked about this at one time. Because I've heard this from you know, different sources. I just want to confirm if it's true. Would you say that, in general, Asians are extremely xenophobic, like, between each other?
I wouldn't go as far to say xenophobic, but I'd say stereotypes play a big role, for sure.
Okay, I'm just asking because, like, I've seen, like, a bunch of, I don't know, maybe YouTube videos or articles about, you know, I don't know. Here's my experience as someone from Thailand going to Japan, or here's me from Japan going to China. And not always, but the common denominator lots of times is they treated me like shit.
Nowadays, we see a lot of discrimination towards people from the Philippines or from Thailand, Cambodia. The reason being is because a lot of people from these countries go to work as immigrants in East Asian countries, because East Asian countries have enormous economies, right? So with a lot of that, it's kind of the same discrimination that Latino immigrants have in America. It's the attitude is almost the same. As an American, it's almost like I'm seeing them repeat the same mistakes that we make.
I find it funny because it's always like the same example, you know, how Latino immigrants are treated in the States. But let me tell you, okay, as someone who lived in the States for a while and who's lived here in South America for a long time, I've never seen someone treat a Latino worse than another Latino.
Man, fuck you, Mama Webble. Mighty Cone Mama Pinga.
Okay,
I've heard about that too.
okay, so it's like, just for context, in case, you know, any of the listeners like don't really know that much about Latino culture. So it's easy to sort of get everyone in a big, like, in a big group, you know? People think, like, oh, I know a few Mexicans. They must all be like that. No, you got no idea. You got no idea. So if you try and compare, like, a Peruvian person, so someone from Peru versus someone from Argentina and someone from Mexico, they're completely different beasts, okay? Completely different. And it happens, and I don't know, just as an example, we make a lot of jokes about race, like, very frequently. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Would you mind to share some?
Okay, just like super.
I'm trying to write these down.
Super simple. whenever you have a friend group, there's always going to be somebody who you call el negro.
Hey, yo!
Or el negrito. Basically, you call him Blackie.
Right.
There's
right.
always
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
always at least one. If it's a girl, it's la negrita. But there's always one, okay? but the thing with that is, some countries have more dark-skinned folks than others. As an example, people from Argentina always make fun of people from Mexico because they usually have darker skin. As far as in Argentina, we make fun of them because they have very big noses, okay? And this
Well, Argentinians, I mean, like, you can make a lot of Nazi jokes there, right?
Oh, of
You're
course.
like-
But part of the reason why is, yeah, there is that, and also because there has been a lot of a lot of Italian immigration to Argentina. And Italians also have big old fucking schnozzles. Argentinians do too.
I'm looking at you, Italy.
Venezuela's a big part of it. I can speak about that for days because of all the political things that are happening there. Well, that have been happening since I was born, basically. Hugo Chavez he got to be in power in 1999, 1 year before I was born. And from then on, it's been just a big old shit show for lots of different reasons. We can get into that some other time. But long story short is there has been, several waves of Venezuelan immigrants. So in my family's case, we immigrated when I was like 5. It was like 2005, 2004. So we were sort of like the first wave of people that actually left. So which was also why I think my family maybe has a different perspective than other people that are immigrating right now. But right now we're in like the current wave of Venezuelan immigration. And here's the thing. I feel like I can talk about this because I'm from there, but some people might still get like a little pissed. But there has been a very marked difference between each wave of immigration from Venezuela. So we're right now on like the worst one. Like as a quick example, I live in Chile, and in Chile, bro, they fucking hate us.
No to racism. Nee tegen racisme. No al racisme.
No al racismo.
No to racism.
Oh, damn.
You know how black guys in the U.S. have the N-word?
Yeah.
Well, we have our own. Bro, I got my own N-word. It's called the V-word.
Oh! Bro, oh my goodness, that's powerful, dude.
I got the
Because the
V-pass.
N-word is one of the, because in the United States, the N-word is like one of the single most powerful words. Think about the death curse from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's that. The shit Voldemort uses.
I'm gonna say the N-word.
No! If you say the N-word, you're fired!
But as far as the whole V-word debacle, okay, so the N-word, I feel, it does have power. But I guess in recent times, it's been memed on to death,
Oh, 100%.
Like totally. Like some of my favorite animations.
100%.
Some of my favorite animations are like, I don't know, Shaggy fights Squidward for the last N-word pass, shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Give me your N-word pass, and no one gets hurt. It's your decision.
Yeah.
They're great. But the V-word hasn't gotten to that level yet. We got to give it like a few more years, okay? So I don't want to talk about, differences in class. But what I can say, as far as, how would you say it? Because when you say in Spanish, like, diferencia de clase, you mean like monetary. Like, I know class difference is something different in English. Basically,
No, it's class.
it is class, right? Well, anyways, long story short, the people that usually had the most cash are the ones that stayed in Venezuela for a certain period of time because they didn't feel like they automatically had to leave. They could, they could still live there despite all the problems with, rising costs. So just to give you an example, like nowadays, I might be wrong on the like actual number, but it's something like, I don't know, minimum wage is like $5. Okay. And
Damn.
a carton of eggs is like $3. So
That's nasty work.
yeah, so on minimum wage, you can buy like a carton of eggs and like a bottle of water, and that's it. And actually, it's gotten to the level where the Bolivar, which is like our currency we've had for forever, and I say Bolivar, they've changed the coin, okay, like a bajillion times. You got like the Bolivar
Yeah.
Fuerte, like the strong one, the mega strong one, the super strong one. They keep going up in strength, but they keep going down in value and going up in interest. I don't know how that works.
Right. You could use monopoly money and it could be the same at that point.
Exactly. It's gotten to that point where it's not government sanctioned, but if you go to Venezuela to like Caracas, like right now, and you want to buy like whatever, they're usually going to ask you for dollars.
They'd convert to American.
Yeah. because it's easier to get a handle on dollars instead of having a fucking bajillion bolivares in your pocket.
Yeah. It almost reminds me of what happened in the Weimar Republic in Germany after World War One.
Oh, you mean
You
when
know,
when they,
like
when
their
they started like
currency.
heavily printing money just because?
Yeah, because like Germany was like hella in debt after World War One, and like because they were fucking blamed for all that shit. But let's face it was the fucking Serbians. But yeah, like I remember learning in class, like people would bring like an entire wheelbarrow full of cash just to get like a loaf of bread or some shit, because their currency was literally cheaper than the paper that it was printed on.
Devalue to heck.
Yeah.
Well, Venezuela, same exact situation. So anyway, I'm mentioning this in general. People that left close to when I left were people that kind of already expected the worst. So I thank my parents, love you, because they had foresight.
It's Hugo Chavez.
It sounds like they're dead or something. No, they're fine. And afterwards, it sort of like started going down between like different classes. So people with the most money, they either stayed in Venezuela because they weren't really bothered by the minimum wage because they didn't earn minimum wage anyway. So usually middle class were the ones that started leaving earliest, and we've been going down. And since Venezuela is technically a socialist government, the reason it's been in power for so long is because there is rampant poverty in Venezuela. And there's also rampant crime for that same reason. So what happens?
Right.
Imagine Breaking Bad, okay? You got some young guy who's been in the game for a long time. Since he was born, he's been around like, I don't know, let's say meth is an example. And he's been in that life, okay?
Yeah.
And we somehow get to a point where the economy in the country is so bad that even by selling meth, you can't have a decent life. So what do? You emigrate, you go somewhere else. But what's the problem?
Right.
You've been selling meth for the last 15 years. That's all you know how to do. So when you get to this new country,
You're gonna continue
what are
selling
you gonna
Escante.
do? You're gonna go and sell more meth.
Well, like the good book says, let he who is without sin throweth the first rock.
And
Saca la bolsita.
And that's what's been going on right now in Chile. When I got here many years ago, like the worst crime you would see was like old woman gets her purse stolen by a guy with a razor blade. That's like the worst thing you could see.
Just the local hooligan.
Yeah, the local hooligan. Now it's like 20 dead in drive-by shooting.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, cartel activities basically.
Yeah,
at
actually,
that point.
Actually, it's to the point that we have different cartels that are actually present in Chile. Like for example, El Tren de Aragua, which is the one that everyone talks about, is here. Right now they exist. So that's all to say that immigration from my country to Chile, I don't want to say without any statistics that it's been like a net negative, because I wouldn't say that, but I would say that at least in the last couple of years there is definitely a marked difference in poverty, crime, etc. And that also coincides with Venezuelan immigration. And for me, it kind of sucks. If I go out to the street, right, and this doesn't always happen. I don't want to say that people are usually xenophobic, but if I was wearing like a Venezuelan hat, right, people might look at me funny.
And they're gonna start dropping hard V, bro. They're gonna start dropping hard V on your ass. Oh, I see how it is now.
There's this one video. I'm gonna change to the media. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this play. So the video, it's not on right now.
Yeah.
But basically what it is this recording from, I think like 2 weeks ago. Basically, it's an Uber driver who's obviously Venezuelan. He's like a middle-aged man. And I don't remember like the context for it, but basically he was driving an Uber and there was this lady who was getting in and she wanted to sit in the back, and for whatever reason he told her like, hey, could you please sit on the front, we're having issues with some cops pulling over Uber drivers, so it'd be easier for all of us if you just went in the front. And she proceeded, and this is all caught on tape, so we're all really glad that he was recording at this time, but
right
basically she accused him of being some sort of pervert. And basically, he wanted her to sit in the front because he wanted to look at her legs or whatever, some dumb shit like that.
Right. Some sussy shit.
Yeah, but she started saying like some dumb shit like that, and she basically went on this like whole tangent of how Venezuelans are ruining the country, this and that, and how how she was gonna go ahead and go to the cops, saying that he tried to do something to her and all that, and she actually did try to do this, and the guy didn't actually do anything. But this was all caught on his own dashboard, so good on you for that. So
Right. He's vindicated. He has evidence.
yeah, so dude, a whole shitstorm hit her. Okay, I'm glad about
What
that.
a fucking Karen, dude.
So I'd like to say that it's an exaggeration, and really, like, most people have a not negative perception of my people. I don't know if it's right to say that, but
I don't believe you people.
What do you mean, you people?
Yeah.
But it does happen. It does happen. So anyway, that's all to say. That's all to say that negative perceptions between Asians, I very much compare to negative perceptions that we have among Latinos, and how we make fun of each other sometimes in a good way and sometimes in a not so good way, as the example I just mentioned.
Right.
I saw like a bunch of tweets and stuff talking about like, hey, the coup was so fast, my mom was sleepy, she didn't even notice what was going on, and then like 5 hours later it's like, oh shit, we had a coup. When did that happen?
Yeah. No, it was so funny because I remember calling my parents the day that it happened, and my mom was just like, she almost like explained it as if it was like a sitcom or something. I think a lot of people just like thought it was just ridiculous. I
love that. I love that. I just love the idea of an entire country, just not a few people, an entire country just looking around being like, oh, okay, bro, where are the cameras? Are we getting punked right now? What's going on?
Exactly. It's like homeboy was smoking too much scante, dude.
You want to move on to the next news story? I don't know if you knew this, but there was a coup. The same fucking thing happened in Bolivia, 3 months ago.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, but before I tell you about that, can I go get some water? I feel kind of thirsty.
Yeah, I need to go use the bathroom.
Yeah, go.
So we'll take a little break.
Okay,
We'll be right back.
2-minute break.
It smells good in here.
I'll ask. Yeah, it's pretty empty.
Oh boy, okay. Now I just feel like I have to do this. First time in here, I feel like I gotta do this. Hello, my name is Apu. I went to.
No.
No.
You don't have to do that. That's all right.
Welcome to Quickie Mart.
Hello.
The BasedWebble mascot, Casper.
This is Bella, like that one chick from Twilight.
Hey.
But she acts way better.
Hey. What's up, Kristen Stewart? But yes, what were we talking about?
Oh yeah, so
Bolivia.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Bolivia. So let me see now. I'm going to show the media. You might be able to actually. Oh, you can actually read this one. Nice. Anyway.
Let's see. Oh shit. Okay.
There was an attempted coup. Okay. That the president of Bolivia denounced. So essentially, yeah, this is what it was. So they had a bunch of tanks just like stationed outside of what was essentially the White House.
God damn. Tanks?
Yeah, a bunch of tanks. Actual tanks. Let's see if I can find some. Let's see. Okay, Bolivia. Yeah, here they are.
Whoa.
Just stationed outside of outside of like the White House. Just chilling.
That's some like Generalissimo type shit.
Yeah, man. So let's keep looking at the article. But if I'm not mistaken, the reason this happened was because they basically like fired this guy, and he got so pissed about it that he decided to just do a coup.
He just said, "Fuck it, I'm mobilizing the ground forces of this entire country."
This man Zuniga. Let's see. Okay. After the Bolivian Attorney General's office issued an arrest warrant against General Zuniga, he was arrested. At the time of his arrest, the military man accused Luis Arce of organizing the coup to attempt to increase his popularity. On Sunday at La Salle School, I met with the president, and the president told me that the situation is really screwed. This week is going to be critical. So it is necessary to prepare something to boost my popularity. So this man says, okay, this bastard says that the whole coup attempt was basically like a play. It was something that he were doing because
what?
The president's like metrics or approval rating was so low, they decided to try and stage a coup and have him like overcome it so he could be, a badass and people would like him again.
Oh my god. So that's like, so this entire thing was fake?
That's what he's saying, okay? But the president actually says that this man was actually trying to do a coup and now he's just bullshitting, okay?
That makes sense. I don't know who to believe at this point,
Yeah, so it's like, okay, let's see if we can get some more information. I've been sort of skimming over this. Okay. Following the start of the military actions, President Arce gave a televised speech surrounded by members of his cabinet in which he called for the mobilization of the people and said, "We are firm in confronting any coup attempt. We want to urge everyone to defend democracy, and here we are in Casa Grande," I guess basically the White House, but in La Paz, with the entire cabinet, with our social organizations. We greet you, the social organizations, and we cordially invite you to once again show democracy to the Bolivian people. So the reason I found this fucking funny is because there are a lot of Bolivian people here where I live in Antofagasta, and one of my best buddies, bro named Pablo, is from Bolivia. So you might think this was insensitive of me, okay? But I got a notification of this happening, and the first thing I did was send him an audio, was being like, "Hey yo, Pablo, what the fuck's going on? There's a coup in your country."
Just imagine your home country is going to shit. And it's like the first thing on that day that you get is from your homeboy just grilling you.
And like, the funniest part was that when I told him, he didn't know. He was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I was like, "Bro, your country's about to explode. Haven't you noticed?" And I was like, "What?" And I sent them the article.
Go online.
Yeah, go
online. No, that's the thing. I get the feeling that you would do the same thing to me.
Oh, totally.
If North Korea had invaded South Korea and just completely took over, it'd be like, "Hey, yo, man, seems like democracy ain't the answer, huh?" You know, or some shit like that.
I'd be like, "Bro, I just saw this on Twitter. There might be like a nuke heading towards your home country. I'm just like letting you know in case you weren't aware."
I mean, I would appreciate it. If I was like your friend and I didn't know beforehand, I'm like, "Hey, thanks for letting me know."
This man, Pablo, he was really worried about it when I told him. He was like, "What?" But then we started reading up on it, and there's this whole back and forth versus whether it was a real coup or a staged coup, but either way it apparently all boils down to this guy Zuniga got fired like a day earlier, and I guess it was planned from previously, but he basically organized the whole coup in like 24 hours. I'm maybe not the most qualified to talk about this, but from what I know, okay, it's a bit different in Bolivia, so I wouldn't say there's big on the collective as maybe some Asian countries are. But one thing that they do have is there has always been a very strong, like anti-establishment, sort of attitude in that country. I have two conflicting stories about this, so I don't know which one to believe. I'll tell you both. So,
yeah.
Did you know that one of the few countries in the world where there is no McDonald's, not a single McDonald's, is in Bolivia?
No McDicks, bro?
There are no McDicks, absolutely
no
zero.
McDicks? Oh, hell no. Bro, I want my fucking Big Mac right now, dude. 20-piece McNuggets, Happy Meal. I want my fucking Big Mac stat in Bolivia.
Yeah, man, I gotta get that with your freaking Szechuan sauce, that one that they sold that one time.
And get all those annoying nerds that are big fans of Rick and Morty.
Exactly. Hey, give me 1 sec. My dog's like crying at the door. I'll let you leave, okay? Stop being annoying.
Oh, yeah. Dude, my cat's doing the same thing. Where the hell did you go, little bastard? Where are you hiding? Are you bothering Francis? We're back.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, sometimes I love my dog, but sometimes I think she might be like a little bit slow.
You're like, I love my dog, but I think she's autistic.
So like, she does this thing, okay? She'll come to my door when it's closed and I'm doing something, and she'll like start scratching out and start crying. I'm like, okay, fine, she'll start whining and come in. Then she'll come in for like 10 seconds. She'll be like, "You good?" I'll respond, yeah, I'm good. And then she just leaves.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Casper's the same way. Like he wakes me up in the morning because I usually feed him before I go to work. And this is our dynamic. Like I'm sleeping and I'm like waking up and then I hear him just start like meowing at my door. He always starts meowing like 30 minutes before my alarm is supposed to ring. And he like wakes me up before I'm supposed to. So I'm kind of pissed, right?
Yeah.
I literally like talk to him like a person. Like I really just say like, "Shut the fuck up," And he stops. He gets it. And then he doesn't start meowing until I come out, which is funny.
Yeah, like my dog does the same thing. And she does this thing where, I don't know if I accidentally taught her to do this. Because when she was little, we don't want the dog like getting up everywhere. Because mostly some people aren't like really comfortable with a dog, like jumping on them. We basically taught her from when she was very little to like ask for permission before going up somewhere, okay? But what she does now is, it doesn't really like she asks for permission. Now she's just lazy. So my bed, you can see it right here. It's not like very tall. She can totally jump this. She refuses to jump up on the bed. She will get up on on her hind legs, start like scratching the bed, and be like, "Yo, give me up." And,
I want uppies.
Yeah.
Give me uppies.
I don't know, Shaq. You told me when's the next game? Can I get some uppies? Uppies?
She wants to chill on the bed, and it pisses me off because, like, okay, she'll get on the bed, then she'll get off the bed, run to the front door, check something out, then she'll come back and ask for uppies again, and she'll do that like 4 different times. And I'm like, bro, just choose where you want to be. If you want to be on the bed, stay on the bed. So
yes,
here are basically like the 2 stories that I got. Okay, the reason McDonald's doesn't really exist in Bolivia One reason, which what I was told, was that they're very anti-imperialist. Okay, so in case you're unaware of the whole geopolitical situation, Evo Morales, which is not right now, but he was the president of Bolivia for a very long time. He was real homies with Hugo Chavez. So there's always been a lot of relationship between Venezuela and Bolivia, and both of them have denounced the states in many different occasions. In fact,
so they're like dictator homies, kind of.
Something like that. I don't know enough about Evo to say that he was a dictator. I don't know, but I know he was homies with Chavez. And even when Chavez said some dumb shit, like one time he said that Bush had access to climate changing technology. So he basically...
What the fuck? Wait, George W. Bush?
Yeah, George W. Bush.
Spanish newspaper ABC quotes Chavez as saying that the U.S. Navy launched a weapon capable of inducing a powerful earthquake off the shore of Haiti.
He said that George W. Bush was
God,
like,
what the hell?
He was like in creative mode in Minecraft and was just like spawning in earthquakes in Venezuela. And I would have said it to you later, okay? There's a recording of him being like, fuck you, America, fuck you and your earthquakes.
He adds that this time it was only a drill, and the final target is destroying and taking over Iran.
Dude, George W. Bush being like, we have every reason to believe in Venezuela they got earthquake-causing technology. Now I'm thinking about George W. Bush being an earthbender from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Imagine like...
when the world needed me the most.
Like, I just imagine, like, there's like a button, right? Whenever somebody finally becomes president, there's like, under the presidential desk, there's like one button that says like earthquake spawner. and you just you just click it, and you don't know where it's gonna spawn, but it's gonna spawn somewhere.
You already know Donnie Trump is gonna go creative mode, dude. He's gonna go creative mode on Minecraft for sure.
Start spamming that bitch.
That's how it's already looking. Yeah. We got Elon Musk on the server. We got all these motherfuckers on the same server, dude.
We got Dr. Oz on the server, man.
We got Dr. Oz on the server, dude.
I'm so happy that every day I'm alive, we're getting closer and closer to it being a reality. You know, like those videos where like presidents play Minecraft.
All right, boys, I just joined the server.
Jesus Christ, Sleepy Joe, about time?
Let's go, I just found diamonds.
What? No way, turn off your x-ray, you stupid moron.
Yeah, like Obama, Biden, and Trump.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That could happen one day. Not likely, but at least I can imagine Elon, Dr. Oz, and Trump playing Minecraft. Yeah. That could happen.
If they're like the Minecraft players, I want to be the Ender Dragon.
So, Bolivia, when that shit with the earthquakes happened, Evo was like, yes, that guy Chavez, what he's saying, that's correct. So, very anti-imperialist. So, the first explanation I got was there are no McDonald's because they tried to open some, but basically people refused to eat there because they were like fucking gringos.
Yeah.
And no Big Macs for you.
Hey, Ronald McDonald is Hitler.
But then I asked someone who was actually from Bolivia, and he said, "Bro, you're fucking idiot. That's not what happened." And I was like, "Oh, I wish that was what happened." That's gotta look.
Damn.
He might have been lying. You know, I have this sneaking suspicion that every Bolivian I've ever met has been lying to me.
Those fucking Bolivians, dude. Can't fucking trust them.
I'm gonna keep that headcanon. But the other response that I got was basically that if you've seen, like Bolivian cuisine, it's fucking weird, bro.
Damn.
Like, I don't know. Maybe this isn't weird. I just think it's weird. Like, there's this one dish that they eat, which is like, you get like a pig head, like the head of a pig.
Oh.
And it's something called, I think the literal translation is called like head cheese.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being Snoop D-O double G.
You basically like get a pig head. You get like the brains out. You like chop it up,
Yeah.
Look, have you ever seen in Canada how they make like moose snout? They make like this jelly out of like the moose's snout.
No, I haven't seen that.
You should look it up. It's fucking gross. But it's like the same thing, but with a pig.
Damn,
so
okay.
they basically like slice it up, and you get like this block of just brain meat from a pig, and they eat it with like toast.
Interesting. So they just turn it into a spread that you could just put on like bread or some stuff.
It's like Spam, but infinitely more disgusting.
Dude, Spam's good though. Call me a sinner, but Spam is good. I grew up on that shit.
I mean, Spam is good, but you gotta admit, like that's not meat. You don't know what's in there.
And it's got like every single part of a pig in it, but it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Anyway, so weird cuisine, and that also has to do with the fact that Bolivians generally are much more connected to their more indigenous roots than maybe other Latin American cultures.
Gotcha.
Really, like I think the main ones like Peru, Bolivia, and Mexico, surprisingly, are the three countries that like they really value their cultural heritage. Like same thing in Mexico. Mexico, you ask people like, well, you know, like the pyramids there, everyone knows about it.
Right.
Yeah, it's like completely off topic. I once had like a Mexican exchange student. They went to my school.
Yeah.
And we were in history class, right? And basically, the teacher was talking about how the Aztecs died out. And this guy got so fucking offended. He was like, "No, you lie! The Aztecs are real. They still live."
Bro, he's talking about the Olmecs. He's talking about the Maya. He's talking about the Mexicas, Tenochtitlan. Talk about the Lake City, bro. Hell no way. It's fucking here, fool.
And obviously, the whole classroom started, you know, basically making fun of over the Aztecs every time we saw him.
Just dogging on him.
We're like, "Hey, what's up, bro? When we doing a blood sacrifice? What's going on?"
We're gonna take Jaime up the fucking pyramid and take his heart out. If you're free like next week or some shit, I'm down to do that shit for real, fool.
Come on, vatos, like a typical Tuesday. We just need like 3 virgins. We'll be fine.
Have you heard of the tacuache memes?
Yeah.
Imagine like one of those Aztec like blood sacrifices where they just bring it like the one guy that's being sacrificed that week up to the pyramid, and it's just all like they take his heart out and they're like, "All right, we're out here." And it's like the last words the sacrifice guy says is "No quema que."
El que.
Well, let me tell you, even in Spanish, we constantly make fun of the Mexican accent. It's just something that happens, right?
It's amazing. Even in the United States, it's special. It is very special.
It's like I can say like, "Oye, vato, oye, pero órale, güey." One of my favorites was a story about like, this has to do with the McDonald's. I had a story of like a dude working at McDonald's. So the manager's like going on, you know, talking about, you know, some finance shit, you know, something's going on, numbers aren't looking the way that they're supposed to. So top employee shows up and is like, "Oye, pero ya, güey, si podemos hacer esto y hacer los cambios con el presupuesto, güey." And güey is like, "Bro." So the manager responds like, "Oye, pinche vato, a mí no me güeyes, güey. A mí no me güeyes, güey."
No mames, güey.
No mames, güey, que yo güey tuyo no soy.
Dude, it's amazing, bro. I love the Chicano accent. It's the best.
Anyway, the whole spiel was to say that Bolivians, in my very, you know, narrow-minded perspective, eat some weird shit. They have a lot of, you know, connection to the cultural roots in their own food. So to them, a Big Mac is just fucking gross.
So they'd rather have the pig head spam.
Yeah, they'd rather have the pig head spam.
Respect. Big Macs will probably give you cancer anyway. So
I don't want to get too off topic from like the whole news thing, but this felt topical. Okay, we're gonna talk about business finances.
And all right, what about business finances?
Anyway, bro, like I gotta know, like, what do you think is the, I guess, business advantage that McDonald's has historically had over other food chains?
Well, I guess the big thing is their supply line, right? How they're able to pre-make everything and then integrate that into all their restaurants so their food is like super fast. That's probably it, right? The key to their success.
Yeah, that's part of it. But I think there are two main reasons. Main reason number one is, well, for the last many years, McDonald's main business is actually not food. It is actually real estate. In fact, I think most of the world, unless, you know, there are specific countries like, I don't know, if you go to Saudi Arabia, I believe you can't actually like purchase land there. It's more like a concession, like you get it for a certain amount of time. So there they can't do it. But in most countries where you can buy land, McDonald's tends to buy the land. They build the McDonald's, the actual building on top of.
Oh, shit.
To the point that usually how the franchising works is you get like a dude who's like, "Hey, I want to get a McDonald's." And McDonald's like, "She fool, that's all you had to say? Sure, start right here." So they go there and they put up their franchise. But that's the thing. It's a franchise, it's not a specific restaurant. So there are certain, you know, codes and guidelines that they have to abide by. If somebody doesn't do it properly, I think it's part of the contract where McDonald's can basically say, "Hey, yo, fool, you suck, vato," and they just like get him out of there. So they can get the person that put the original like restaurant there, get him out, but they're the owners of the land. So they can just keep the building and get some other dudes to come manage that same restaurant.
And then they just like lease it out, basically, that property to somebody else.
That's exactly how it works.
Interesting. That kind of goes in line with what's happening right now in the United States with the farmland here, right? Because like Bill Gates and a bunch of other like billionaires, right, are buying up a shit ton of farmland.
Oh my God!
I didn't know this. Please continue.
Yeah. The crazy thing about it is I don't think it's being talked about enough. What happens when a bunch of technocrats get control of the food supply, right? It's like there's so much leverage there that can only go very badly for the normal person.
I didn't know that at all. So what you're telling me is Bill Gates be farming like right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's on his farming arc.
Dang.
He's on his farming arc right now, which is very scary for everybody. I only learned about this because, like I looked into it.
Dang. See, this is why you gotta follow Webble News, man. We bring you the news nobody else does.
We're on the fucking cutting edge, bro. We got people in places you won't fucking believe, dude. In the highest levels of government, in the highest levels of corporate management. We got connections out here, man.
Man, you know those tunnels, where El Chapo Guzman is? We got people down there too. We already know what's going on.
Our fucking homies dug those tunnels.